for the sound team. Yay. I opened my mouth and I called unto the Lord. I shall go, I will go. I'm going to see what the end is going to be. The story of the Black church of freedom begins not in buildings, but in clearings and woods. Long before there were universities, venture capital firms, or algorithms shaping our lives, there were enslaved Black people gathering in hidden spaces. Say hidden spaces. Counter-public spaces known as hush harbors. In these clearings, away from the surveillance of white slave owners that saw them as chattel, physical labor, they prayed together, they sang together, and they believed and imagined that they would be free one day. They imagined themselves in these spaces as human beings. These gatherings were more than spiritual refuge. They were radical acts of dreaming in a society that defined them as property. Say property. Enslaved people dared to believe in their own humanity, in a future beyond physical bondage. They believed in freedom. Say freedom. Out of these hush harbors emerged one of the most powerful institutions in the American system, the Black church. The Black church became the physical architectural embodiment for the dreams first imagined in those hidden clearings. It was a space where Black people were denied. It was a space where dreams could take root. It was a space where Black people who were denied every form of civic power could gather, organize, and see themselves reflected as full human beings. In the sanctuary, say sanctuary. Oh my God, thank you. People who labored as domestics, sharecroppers, porters, cooks, they became church clerks. They became Sunday school teachers. They became diviners of God's word. They became human when they were not seen in everyday life. They were able to have joy and pain, learn to love on each other in a society that saw them as otherwise. The Black church restored human dignity, say dignity, and agency to a community of people who were denied both. So let that sink in. At a time where Black literacy was criminalized and Black bodies hung from trees, strange fruit, when Black bodies were treated like automated machines, I'm going somewhere with this, enslaved people did the most radical technological act imaginable. They imagined a different future. They built institutions on sacred soil to hold the dreams. They harbored and created spaces for them to resist Jim Crow in the South by teaching literacy. The sacred legacy of radical imagination and organized community life through these powerful spaces. And I will say this to all of my public interest technologists here, that same dreaming, say dreaming, spirit that sustained enslaved people, combined with the church's ability and capacity building for leadership, is what we need now to build a new civil rights tech movement. You can clap for that. Snap for it. I have to talk about the history of the church so that you can understand why it matters in this moment. We are living in another great transformation, a human society where digital infrastructure and emerging technologies is the norm. These technologies shape how people work and how the decisions will be made. But who gets to say what are the values of these systems and the data sets? This reflects a deeper truth about Black church. It has always been more than a religious institution. It has been a guardian of the radical imagination that people who were once denied freedom could see themselves free and build institutions, not just the church, but HBCUs and banks and credit unions and club movements. They gave identity to when they were seen as nothing. And so I'm gonna jump because I see this time is going quick. It's like, what is happening here? In many ways, the future we're entering calls for a new kind of social movement, a civil rights and human rights movement for the technological age. The movement will require technologists, policymakers, educators to work together, But it will also require institutions to hold space for hope. Say hope. And houses of worship, whether it's a synagogue, a temple, a church, a clearing in the woods, are spaces where we must begin to organize and envision a different tech future for our communities. The future of ethical AI will not be built in labs. It will be built in clearings. Say clearings. It will be built in sanctuaries. Say sanctuaries. It will be built in communities. Say communities with your whole chest. It will be built wherever people believe that humanity is sacred. And if history teaches us anything, it is when Black people gather in faith, where one or two or more are gathered in the name, and the name is freedom. Say freedom. Imagination and courage will rise up. And this is the new world we are building. A world where all will be seen as living, thriving human beings. Thank you.